Have you ever stared at a candle and thought, why won't you burn correctly? I made you. I gave you everything. Today, we are answering questions 16 through 20 of the most common questions candle makers ask. We are going to talk about how to test a candle properly, why your candle may not reach a full melt pool, whether essential oils are better than fragrance oils, and whether you can realistically start a candle business. But stay with me until question number 20 because I am going to explain why your candle may smell wonderful, burn perfectly, and still not look like a luxury candle. Let's get started. How do I test a candle properly? Proper candle testing does not mean lighting your candle one time, watching it for 20 minutes, and announcing, "She's perfect." That is not a candle test. That is a candle visit. A proper candle test follows the candle from the first burn all the way to the bottom of the vessel. Before you begin, allow the candle to cure for the recommended amount of time for your wax. Then trim the wick to approximately 1/4 inch and place the candle on a heat-resistant surface, away from drafts, children, pets, ceiling fans, open windows, and anyone who might walk by and say, "That flame looks a little small," before you have even started. Burn the candle in sessions of approximately 3 to 4 hours. Allow it to cool completely between burns. During every session, record what is happening. Look at the flame size, the melt pool width and depth, any soot or smoke, mushrooming on the wick, the temperature of the vessel, the amount of wax remaining, the strength of the fragrance, the total burn time. Do not only watch the first burn. A candle can behave beautifully at the beginning and turn into a tiny glass furnace during the final third. The wick has less wax surrounding it near the bottom. The vessel holds more heat, and that is often when an oversized wick reveals itself. This is why I test the entire candle. I also keep records of my wick, wax, fragrance load, vessel, cure time, and every burn session. You may think you will remember everything. You will not. After testing 6 candles, they all become the white one with the wick. I also watch my vessel temperature carefully. In my own testing, I do not want my glass vessels pushing into the 150 to 180 degree range. If a vessel becomes excessively hot, the flame is too large, the candle produces heavy soot, or anything appears unsafe, I end the test. And remember, every new combination is a new test. Changing the fragrance can change the burn. Changing the fragrance load can change the burn. Changing the vessel can change the burn. Changing the wick manufacturer can change the burn. Even creating your own fragrance blend creates a new formula that must be tested. A cold fragrance test or candle warmer test can help you evaluate a scent, but it does not replace a complete burn test. Candles are combustion products. Eventually, we have to light them. Why won't my candle reach a full melt pool? First, let's talk about one of the biggest candle-making myths. Your candle does not always need to reach a full melt pool during the first burn. I know, somewhere a Facebook group just gasped. A candle, especially one made with slower burning wax, may need several burn sessions to gradually consume the wax along the sides of the vessel. A small amount of wax remaining around the edge during the first few burns is not automatically tunneling. The candle may catch up as it burns farther down and more heat becomes trapped inside the vessel. In fact, forcing a full melt pool too early can lead you to choose a wick that is too large. The candle may look wonderful during the first burn, but by the time it reaches the bottom, the flame may be enormous, the melt pool may be too deep, and the vessel may become dangerously hot. That candle did not pass. It simply dressed nicely for the first interview. Instead of asking, "Did I get a full melt pool in 4 hours?" ask, "Is the melt pool gradually expanding? Is the flame stable? Is the vessel staying within a safe temperature range? Is the candle consuming the wax evenly over time? Is there still a thick wall of wax after several burns? Does the candle correct itself as it burns lower? If a large amount of wax remains on the sides throughout the entire test, the wick may be too small. But there can be other causes. The fragrance may be affecting the wick. The wax may require a different wick family. The candle may have been burned for sessions that were too short. The room may have been cold. The wick may have been trimmed too short. The vessel may simply be too wide for one wick. This is why wick charts are only starting points. A wick chart cannot smell your fragrance, inspect your vessel, or stand in your kitchen judging the flame. You still have to test. Essential oils versus fragrance oils. This question usually begins with, aren't essential oils more natural? They may be natural, but natural does not automatically mean safer, stronger, or better for candle making. Poison ivy is natural. I'm not putting that in a candle either. Fragrance oils designed for candle making are generally the more practical choice because they are created to perform in wax and under heat. They also tend to provide better consistency and a stronger hot throw. They allow us to create fragrances that would be extremely difficult or impossible to produce using essential oils alone. There is no essential oil called luxury hotel lobby during a thunderstorm, although somebody should make that fragrance. Essential oils can be used in some candles, but you need to be much more selective. Some essential oils do not perform well when burned. Some fade quickly. Some have very low recommended usage levels. Some can be irritating or sensitizing. Certain oils may also create concerns around pets or sensitive individuals. The quality and composition of an essential oil can also vary based on the plant species, growing region, harvest extraction method, age, storage, oxidation, supplier, and batch. That is a lot of variables for something people assume is automatically simple because it came from a plant. Only use an essential oil when the supplier specifically supports its use in candles and provides the appropriate safety documentation. Whether you use essential oils or fragrance oils, review the current IFRA documentation. Confirm the documentation applies to candles. Follow the recommended usage level. Review the safety data sheet. Keep records of your materials and formulas. Conduct a complete wick and burn test. I primarily use fragrance oils made for candle making because I want strong performance, consistency, a wide range of scent choices, and documentation that supports the intended application. You can also look for fragrance oils that meet the standards important to you, such as phthalate-free options. The word fragrance does not automatically mean bad, just as the word natural does not automatically mean safe. The important question is not, which one sounds healthier on Instagram? The important question is this material appropriate, documented, properly formulated, and completely tested for use in a candle? Can I start a candle business? Yes, you can start a candle business. But there is a difference between making candles and building a candle business. Making candles requires wax, fragrance, wicks, vessels, equipment, and testing. Running a business also requires pricing, insurance, photography, packaging, shipping, customer service, inventory, bookkeeping, marketing, and occasionally smiling politely while someone tells you they can buy a candle at Walmart for $7. You do not need to launch with 47 fragrances. In fact, please do not launch with 47 fragrances. Start with a focused collection that you have completely tested. Know who your customer is, why your candle is different, what it costs you to make, how much profit you earn, how long production takes, how you will package and ship it, how you will replace or refund damaged products, whether your pricing can support an actual business. Do not calculate only the wax, wick, and fragrance. Include the vessel, lid, packaging, label or decoration, shipping materials, platform fees, failed tests, equipment, insurance, and your time. Your time is not free simply because you happen to be standing in your own kitchen. It took me about 2 years to become profitable. The change did not come from finding one magical wax or secret wick. It came from learning how to differentiate my products. I stopped thinking of myself as someone selling another jar candle and focused on personalized, artistic candles that customers could not easily find somewhere else. I invested in sublimation and engraving. I developed printed-on-glass designs, personalized messages, engraved lids, map candles, wedding gifts, memorial candles, and products that told a story. I also reinvested my profits into the business instead of buying every new fragrance oil that whispered my name from the supplier's website. Most of the time, you do not need everything before you begin. You need a safe, tested product, a clear customer, responsible business practices, proper insurance, realistic pricing, and a reason for someone to buy from you instead of the thousands of other candle businesses online. Buying a wax melter does not make you a CEO. It makes you a person with a very hot appliance. The business begins when you create a repeatable product that solves a problem, fills a need, or gives the customer an experience they value. Why doesn't my candle look like a luxury candle? Here's the hard truth. A candle can be made with beautiful wax, an expensive fragrance, and a perfectly tested wick and still look cheap, inexpensive, ordinary, handmade. There is nothing wrong with handmade. Handmade is wonderful, but handmade and luxury are not automatically the same thing. A luxury candle looks intentional. Every detail appears to belong together. The vessel, the fragrance, the name, the design, the lid, the wick, the wax color, the packaging, the product photography, the customer experience. Luxury is not created by choosing a fancy script font and making the word luxe enormous. Sometimes that creates the opposite effect. A luxury design usually has a clear point of view. It may be bold and colorful, quiet and minimal, romantic, architectural, artistic, modern, or dramatic, but it looks deliberate. The fragrance should also support the design. If the candle is called Bourbon Eclipse, the artwork, fragrance description, vessel, and packaging should all help tell that story. If the candle is intended for a modern $5 million Florida home, it probably should not look like it was designed during a clearance sale at the craft store. Luxury also comes from permanence and craftsmanship. One reason I use sublimation and engraving is that the artwork becomes part of the vessel. It does not look like a temporary sticker placed on the front of a jar. A printed-on glass design will not simply rub off or peel away. Engraving adds texture, personalization, and a level of detail that makes the product feel custom. But equipment alone does not create luxury. You can own a sublimation printer, an engraving machine, and enough craft supplies to open a small Michaels and still create a confusing product. The design must remain cohesive. Luxury candles also need luxury presentation. Use clear, well-lit photographs. Show the scale of the candle, show the lid, personalization, packaging, and details. Create product cards that answer the buyer's questions. Your photographs should communicate the experience before the customer ever smells the candle. The buyer should look at the product and think, that would look beautiful in my home. Or even better, this smells expensive, and yes, somehow customers believe they can smell a candle through a photograph. Our job is to help them do it. Luxury is not just about charging more. It is about giving the customer enough design, quality, craftsmanship, story, and experience to understand why the product is worth more. That is the difference between decorating a candle and designing one. It is also the heart of the candle artist way, creating a luxury candle from the inside out. How do I test a candle properly? Why won't my candle reach a full melt pool? Should I use essential oils or fragrance oils? Can I start a candle business? And why doesn't my candle look like a luxury candle? The biggest lesson from all 20 questions is that successful candle making is not about finding one perfect recipe. It is about testing, documenting, learning, designing, and improving one candle at a time, and occasionally staring at a wick while quietly asking, "What exactly do you want from me?" Let me know in the comments which of these questions has caused you the most frustration. Be sure to subscribe because I share practical candle making education, luxury candle design ideas, sublimation engraving, and the real behind-the-scenes lessons of building a creative candle business. Until next time, keep testing, keep creating, and remember, every flame tells a story. If you're serious about candle making, start thinking like a candle artist. If you want to go deeper into candle design, sublimation, engraving, and creating candles that truly stand out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in getting my book, on sublimation and engraving at cost, the link is in the description. Buyers of my book can explore a free trial that includes one-on-one coaching, a physical monthly newsletter delivered to your front door, and my private school community. And if you'd rather buy my candles instead of making them yourself, I've added a link to my Etsy shop below. See you next time on The Candle Artist Way.